the sort of default way that humans learn, we don't learn in schools. We don't learn in classrooms. That's a manufactured way that we've been taught to learn. That's not how students. That's not how humans learn. Watch your children, like little babies. How do they learn? They play. Like everything.
Experiment.
Everything. Exactly. They just play with stuff. What I mean by play is when we play, there is no like right or wrong about it. Right? Play is just play. Right? But when you then give yourself this thing where you're supposed to do something right, then there's this problem where you start to hiccup. You're like, you know, like what happens a lot of times when people go into a gym, they like, I luckily for some reason didn't have this problem. People have trouble just doing rolling because they're like, well, like even if they have a basic level of understanding, they'll get to a point where they don't know what to do and they're afraid to just do something. Just try it. Like who knows how it's going to happen? Just play. You know, and because that's how you learn a lot of times is you just mess around and you move around and you start to get intuition about how your body's supposed to move. And even if you do not like through your mind, you cannot articulate what's right, what's wrong. Your body knows. So for instance, I could tell someone in jiu-jitsu, I could tell them, do not turn your back. I could tell another student, don't turn your back. That they'll learn together because that person that even though I never told them to not turn their back, if they're getting choked out left and right, they're going to stop turning their back.
They can figure it out.
Right, they're going to figure it out. And this is what happens a lot of times is like there are these principles at work and these ideas in jiu-jitsu that they're at work, the rules essentially and the ideas and things like that. They're at work that you start to pick up. Now, people can bring them to your attention early. That's good. But you're going to pick them up one way or the other because they're just there. You know what I mean? Like, again, the idea of not turning the back. You're going to learn because you get choked out all the time. Now, we can bring it to your attention. Hey, don't turn your back. But you're going to learn one way or the other because you're going to get tired of getting choked.
Yeah.
You know? And so, but again, you got to be willing to play. So it's like you learn these techniques and then it comes to play. Have fun with it. Just try stuff out. You know, this is like, it really, I think that's one of the big hindrances people is like, we have this Western thinking intellectual sort of idea where it's like we got to know the answer to everything. It's like
right.
just play around, man. Figure it out. You know, we don't have to be in this rush to have like A, B, C, D, E to have it all like lined out for us perfectly. And again, jiu-jitsu is one of those things where it's not going to be lined up for you perfectly. You just gotta try stuff sometimes. You have to be willing to just see what happens.
Yeah, I think the trying thing that I was thinking about, some positions happen by accident. Like I've done, you know, the loop choke, and then all of a sudden somebody defends in a way, and then the arm ends up somewhere where I'm like, wait a second, or I end up in a certain way. It's like with your little lapel grip position, that grip break with the lapel, that was kind of an accident thing. I think you were just playing around with stuff.
I was just screwing around. Like I literally was just like there was one day when he's talking about the tentacles. So if you guys got the Get a Grip series, the tentacles in that,
I still use that.
It's like a good grip.
I love it. If I'm ever in that position, I love it. It's excellent because I get it. Honestly, I get it done to me because I like to do the cross collar grip and stuff. I get done to me a lot, and it just makes you rethink. Also makes you, you know, by somebody doing that to you, it makes you rethink your own game. So I start doing different stuff, and I start experimenting based on that. So I think it's like a, you know, just a domino effect.
Right. And the way that move came about was, and by the way, I used it really successfully at a competition to get out of a Bravo grip, which was like,
oh, dude, Bravo grips are the worst.
It was the dude that got the Bravo grip on you and Adam.
Brett,
yeah, dude's got like, he's just got like strong old hands, man. And
dude, when you competed against him, by the way, he was way bigger.
He's got bigger, I think.
Like, he's bigger. I think, when did we... It's like maybe 4. Is that when we competed against him?
Yeah, 2016. I think it was like... Or 2017. It was early 2017. Yeah. It was like February.
Was it?
Because I remember
purple.
It was like... Yeah. No, you guys are brown.
It was brown. Brown.
Yeah, because it was... I remember it was 2017 because it was right when I started kind of... Like, people started to know who I was.
He played a different game, though, by the way.
He did.
Against you. It was cool. It was interesting.
But you know, he was a tough competitor, but man, he has strong grips, and I had to use that tentacle just to stop the grip from having to fight off chokes. It worked great, and that's what it's good for, is cross collar grips. But what was funny is the way that move came about, and maybe again this could be instructive to you listening, is basically I had a buddy of mine, Pabone, who just got back. His knee was banged up a little bit, and he wanted to be on the mats, but he didn't want to roll as hard, right? He couldn't couldn't roll as hard. So I said, all right, man, we're just gonna play. So he's trying to like feed in this lapel. He plays like that worm guard stuff, and so I just started taking the lapel and just screwing around with it. And I don't know what I was doing. I was just wrapping it up, and all of a sudden I was like it stopped his lapel game, and I was kind of like giggling. I was like, well, that's something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, huh. So then like I ended up using that move all week long, like just breaking grips and then using it, you know. And then like Adam one day showed showed a variation of something, or some arm bar, that worked off the tentacle, and I started using that to take arm bars. I'm like, oh sweet. So it's like there's all kinds of funky stuff with it. But again, I got it because I was rolling like sub maximal intensity, just screwing around with one of my buddies. And again, this is where there's value in rolling, not 100%. There's value in just just playing, just like screwing around. We'll see what happens. Again, it's like sometimes like when you read a good book that maybe is on a subject that you're not really interested in or whatever, and you get some really cool information from it you weren't expecting. Sometimes it's doing things a little bit differently. Sometimes it has a benefit to it, even if it's not maybe what you think you should be doing right now. Like, oh, I should be rolling really hard. Well, just your buddy wants to roll right here. Just go easy on him. Yeah. And then like just play around and see what happens. And sometimes there's some cool stuff that comes from
it. I think there's a time to. I think that there's obviously a balance to all of it, because there's a balance in. Are you rolling without purpose just to play, but also how much of your rolling is purposeful to get a certain position or submission. So I think there's got to be, you have to have both. You have to have a balance to both of them, and that's kind of with everything. Like, I think you can't just roll all the time, then some of your techniques may never develop past a certain point.
Right.